time. At 33 years old and in his 15th season in the NBA, James dominated, becoming the third oldest player in league history to notch a triple-double while scoring at least 40 points. To Cleveland we go, to a night full of highlight reel moments for LeBron. In the third quarter, he got hot, knocking down the three from the top off the key. Then LeBron drives and throws a dunk. Later, Cavs up by 6. LeBron hits Jabari Parker with a shake and bake and nails the jumper. Take another look. LeBron had 17 points in the third quarter. Cleveland led by 8 after 3 quarters. In the fourth, James keeps it going, sizes up Giannis Antetokounmpo, hits the jumper over him. And later, Cavs up by 8. Off a miss, LeBron rebounds over Giannis. He outruns him up the court and throws down a dunk at the other end. LeBron finished with 40 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. Cavs win 124-117. He said he benefited from having Kevin Love and Kyle Korver back in the lineup.
Me personally, I'm going to be in attack mode no matter who's out on the floor. As you guys seen on the road trip, I was playing the way I want to play, no matter who's out on the floor. But when you add all-star, power forward and, three-point specialists like Kyle, and then this is their basketball IQs, it just helps our team.
For more on LeBron and the Cavs, here's First Take.
I like that hat. He just needed a little more love in his life, guys. LeBron with another huge night, a 40-point triple-double, and he's 33. Max Kellerman, how much longer will he be the best player on the planet?
I think by the end of next year, we'll recognize Anthony Davis as the best player in the world. People have to understand what LeBron is already doing is unprecedented in the history of basketball. It's not just the chronology, like his age, as a chronological number. It is the number of miles on his legs. He comes out of high school right into the pros playing an 82-game schedule. And he's in the playoffs every year. And he's in the finals 8 times. 7 times in a row, he's playing practically a whole extra season. Not to mention Olympics and all of that. There's never been a player, even close to it, even Kareem, this deep into his career, having logged this many minutes, who's ever been nearly this good. Kareem 80-81 was the last year he was really Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And even then, maybe he wasn't as great as he had once been. And then he remained among the best players in basketball because Kareem was amazing. But he wasn't quite his old self. There were other players comparable to him. He was, maybe not the best player in the world anymore. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Moses Malone were coming up in the world, compared to Kareem because he was in decline. LeBron remains the best player in the world at his age. And Stephen A., he has at times had to guard all 5 positions. It's just, given the position he plays, yes, even in this less demanding era physically in terms of hand checking and all that stuff, given the number of miles he has on his legs, every day he goes out there as the best player in the world, he's resetting the record by far. But by the end of next year, the next great young player will replace him as the best in the world, and I believe that will be Anthony Davis.
Here's the reason I disagree with you. It'll be for a couple of reasons. Number one, Anthony Davis won't get the same amount of exposure because Anthony Davis is busy missing the playoffs or going home in the first round because the New Orleans Pelicans haven't gotten him the help that he so desperately needs and wants. So we have to take that into consideration, and we absolutely positively cannot ignore that. And number two is durability, because that comes into question as well. The best ability is availability. And if you ain't available because your durability is a question mark, then what do you have? We're looking at guys like Kawhi Leonard. You've only played 9 games this year. We look at Kevin Durant. He's gone down. We look at Anthony Davis. He's been balling because DeMarcus Cousins has gone down, and the Pelicans have been winning games, and Anthony Davis has been nothing short of sensational. But in the same time that he's picked up his play, so has LeBron James. And then we look at the Greek Freak, whose perimeter play is not as surreal as we would like it to be at this particular moment in time. And as a result of that, you're not willing to give him that edge just yet. So even though it's entirely possible that LeBron can fall off a little bit, within a year, it could be a precipitous drop simply because of the mileage that you've alluded to. You also have to take into account that essentially what you're saying is those others are going to step up and they're going to put forth more mileage and they're going to be as reliable and they're going to be more durable and what have you. And I'm not sure we can rely on that any more than we can rely on anything we have to say about LeBron. So what I would say to you is that as a result of it, here is ultimately where LeBron I think through this season and next season, he'll still be recognized as the best in the world. At some point in time, we're going to sit up here and rather than critique this man's greatness as a basketball player and nitpick about what he doesn't do, and I certainly will do that, in the end, where he deserves all the credit in the world, is there one athlete amongst all the guys that we look at and amongst all the dudes in the league, Max, that we consider to be great? Does any of them put in the work LeBron James puts in? The answer is no. Nobody works on their conditioning. Nobody works on their physique. Nobody works. I mean, look at all of them. Look at every single one of them. I mean, whether it's a guy that's not cut enough, whether it's a guy that's not strong enough, whether it's a guy that's not in the gym enough, not working on his game enough, not working on his physical condition enough, there is a drop off because in the end, the number one thing that LeBron has over all of them, which is what we should pay homage to for him above all else. You're the marquee guy. Everyone's gunning for you. And this man never cheats us when it comes to being in that gym and working on his health and conditioning. Nobody eclipses LeBron on that level. And that is ultimately what we're going to have to thank him for most in the game, in the end.
And there's, by the way, you don't get to be LeBron James or Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan without having the sick work ethic. What's amazing about those guys, and LeBron's the latest example, is when, you know, the curse of the gifted is what befalls most incredibly gifted athletes, which is they don't have to work as hard as the other guys to do even better than the others. When you have the most talented, and that guy's also the hardest worker, or woman is also the hardest worker, you get LeBron James, Serena Williams, Kobe Bryant, like that uppermost echelon. And you're right, that is LeBron. But a word about that, Stephen A. There's an article right now on ESPN.com talking about how LeBron James is going to play all 82 games. He's working with a Navy SEAL and all that. You know, Tiger Woods worked with a Navy SEAL. How'd that go? Kobe Bryant was fanatical about his health, and his Achilles goes. I mean, sometimes the human body, no matter what you do, sometimes even the harder you work it, particularly as you get older and you got a lot of miles on the legs, something's going to give. And it's hard to talk about that without feeling like I'm going to jinx the guy. So knock wood, nothing happens. But even in spite of Anthony Davis's injury history, I believe going forward it is LeBron based on age and miles, and maybe even the things he's doing to stave off injury, because that's also wear and tear on the body. It is LeBron who's more likely to suffer a catastrophic injury based on those factors than Anthony Davis.
Well, I would say to you, do not bring up Tiger Woods in the same breath as LeBron James when it comes to the Navy SEALs deal. Number one, you just highlight how you don't view golfers as athletes and whatever the case may be. So that means Tiger ventured into a world that was completely foreign to him and his body based on the game that he plays and what it requires. In LeBron James' case, you're talking about somebody that is adroit enough, intellectual enough, smart enough to utilize what he could peel from training like a Navy SEALs or whatever the case may be to his advantage. LeBron James is one of those rare individuals who takes care of his body in ways that most people never have as far as we have ever
and it
seen.
Pays dividends.
So I wouldn't worry about him in terms of his training because he knows it better than those guys.
All right, we're out of time, guys. LeBron posting the most rebounds and assists of any season of his career and is on pace to play all 82 games for the first time in his career. Coming up, a basketball pioneer uses the word slavery in the same sentence as the NCAA. We'll tell you what he said, and the guys will react.